Start చేద్దాం. Let us start with prayer. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Yes, sir. Over to Kapilaji.
Okay, ji. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Today, I'm going to discuss the topic on the longevity, the health problems, health issues, the body part that will be infected, how to know it, how to calculate it. Many times, this question is asked that how to assess the longevity. Apart from this, it is also asked that how do we know on the basis of the natal chart or the Horary chart that the person is likely to suffer what kind of problems, what kind of health issues. So, keeping this in mind, I plan to discuss today the longevity, the health issues. I think it won't be possible to complete the whole of the chapter today itself. So, some half of the part I'll discuss it today, and the next half, I mean, whatsoever is possible, how much time we can sit, I will discuss in the next part, I'll discuss how do we calculate the body parts. When a person has a accident, when he will be having a surgery, how do we know that and how do we calculate it? Simply by saying that 812 appears, there is an accident or there is likely to be a surgery is not the correct answer to the problem. So I shared the today's chart, and now today I'll be discussing a Horary chart, and a Horary number that was given was 2007. It was a number which was given in Delhi, and the date was 26th of June 2006. The time was 18 hours 4 minutes and 2 seconds. His query was, Sir, I am having a problem, kidney problem, and by virtue of this problem, I am facing lot of health issues. So his query was that whether I'll be cured of this kidney problem, or I will have to get removed the kidney from the body, or if with the removal of the kidney there are some chances of survival, and if it is, how long he can survive. These were some queries, which were in the mind of the person when he asked the question. Now I'm just presenting the chart to you, and we'll one by one discuss the answer to all the questions which were put by the querent. Now in such cases, now as what we have been doing every time, that before we proceed with the chart, we have to check about the genuineness of the chart. We have to check about the genuineness of the query. Now, in order to check the genuineness of the query, now in the present case, as the question was about the longevity, as the question was about the kidney problem, so moon or its star should either appear in 6, kidney is represented by the seventh cusp, or should appear in the seventh house, or it has to appear in the 11th house. If moon appears in either of these houses, so that justifies the question, and that the question is genuine, and the querent is genuinely asking the question about his health issues. Now, in the present case, if you look at moon is present in 1, it is present in 6th. So, one of the houses which we required was 6th house. It is not present in 11. And if you look at the Star Lord of Moon, it is present in 1, it is present in 7, the house of disease. So the query by the person is genuine. Whenever a question regarding the longevity or regarding the health issue or regarding some problem in the body is to be asked, then we have to always take moon to be present. Presence in one doesn't mean anything. Presence in one means the native himself. So it has to be, for a query to be genuine, it has to be present either in the sixth house or in the seventh house or in the 11th house. It is present in the sixth house, and it is present in the star of Jupiter, which is present in the seventh house. So clearly shows that the query by this person is very genuine. So after establishing the genuinity of the question, genuinity of the query, now the next part we have to study is, you know that for longevity of a person, the sub-lords of three houses, they are studied. It is the first house, the house of longevity, the third house, the house of longevity, and the 11th house, and the eighth house, which is the house of longevity. So three sub-lords, 1, 3, and 8 have to be studied when we need to study the longevity. Now, before we proceed on to that part, the first important point that we need to discuss here is that we have to first study ascendant, the ascendant sub-lord. Now, it's a Horary chart. Even if it's a natal chart, what is important is that when we have to assess the ascendant, then we need to take into consideration all the co-rulers of the ascendant. If you look here in this chart, see what we have been doing so far is what we have been teaching so far is that we focus primarily upon the sub-lord of the first house. But when we have to check about the ascendant, that what has the ascendant in store for the person, since he is asking about his longevity, he is asking about his health issues, we have to take into consideration all the co-rulers of the ascendant. And the co-rulers of the ascendant in the present chart, they are, one is Saturn, second is Jupiter, and the third one is Moon. Right? So then, how do we study them? What we need to do is, you know that every planet, they are all planets. They are the co-rulers of the ascendant. They are all planets. Every planet has to offer the result through its star. So what we will do is, we will take all these co-rulers, we will study their stars, and on the basis of the cusps linking to the star, we can know that what is in store for this person as far as the longevity and the health problems or the health issues they are concerned. It means I have to take into Saturn, planet Jupiter, and planet Moon. Saturn, Jupiter has appeared twice, so I will only be talking about Saturn, Jupiter, and Moon. Now, if I take the first planet, that is Jupiter, which is the ascendant sub-lord, Jupiter, you know, here is present in the star of Rahu. Jupiter has got a PS. It means the results of the Jupiter, which is a linking planet. Jupiter is the planet in question. Any planet in question is always known as a linking planet. And the cusps which are associated with the planet through its star lord or the sublord or the sub-sublord, they are all linking cusps. So here, Jupiter is in the star of Rahu. Rahu represents Mercury and Sun. So we will have to look into the cusps which are linked to the Jupiter because of the PS.
So
And
Rahu represents Jupiter and Saturn.
okay, okay. I took, I suppose I
Parallel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have by mistake, I told Mercury and Sun. It is
Yeah,
Jupiter and
yeah.
Saturn.
It's
It is
Ketus.
Jupiter and Saturn. Uh, Anyhow, so I did a mistake. Instead of Rahu, I took Ketu. So it
No,
is
sir,
Jupiter
it's
and Saturn.
parallax error, so it happens to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It do happen sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you have Jupiter. So we need to study the significations of Jupiter. That is the linking cusp of Jupiter, and through its star Rahu. What are the cusps which are linked to Jupiter? So that will give me an idea that what are the cusps which are involved. So here, when I look into the linking cusp for planet Jupiter, the linking cusp they are, since Jupiter has got a PS and it has got a PS, therefore the linking cusp with Jupiter are 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Okay. And through Rahu, the linking cusp, because Rahu has not got any PS, the linking cusp of Rahu, they are 1, 7, and 8. Then Rahu represents Jupiter, which is again the same number of cusp, and it also represents Saturn, by virtue of which it is giving the significations of 1, 3, 5, 9, and 11. So if you sum them up, then what are the planets, what are the houses which we get? The houses are 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So here the planets, here the houses 2, 7, 9, and 12. 2 and 7 are Marka houses. Ninth house is the Badka house for the native. Ninth house, because it is rising in a fixed sign, so the ninth house is the Badka house. And thereby, 2, 7, 9, and 12 are the Marka and Badka houses which are linked to this planet. And at the same time, the houses 1, 3, 5, 11, 8, and 10 are also linked to this planet. And the houses of recovery of any kind of disease, that is to be given by the first house, the fifth house, and the 11th house. In all, if you look at what Jupiter is giving us, it is giving the cusp which is a combination of mixed cusp, means is also giving us Marka Badka and cusp, and at the same time also giving us life saving cusp. So if you sum it up, what does it mean? When you have both these type of cusps which are appearing in Jupiter with PS or through its star lord Rahu, it indicates that the longevity of this person, as per the ascendant sub-lord Jupiter, is medium longevity. Now, the word medium longevity, short longevity, and long longevity, Khullerji has split it up that an average age of a person can be 100 years. But if you look into Vimshotri Dasha, it has to be 120 years. A person can survive for 120 years. That seldom happens. But anyhow, Vimshotri Dasha is for 120 years, and the average age of a person, average, I won't say average, a person can survive to an age of 100. There are many cases where a person survives even more than 100 years of age. So, accordingly, it is divided into three parts. 1 by 3, 33 years short longevity. So, it can be 33 to 40 years. That is short longevity. Then you have medium longevity, which is 66 years, up to 66 years, or it can be extended up to 70 years, or 72 years, or 75 years. And beyond that, it is a long longevity of the person. So, here since we are having both type of houses connected to the Jupiter planet with PS and through its star lord Rahu, so I can conclude here that this native whose chart is in question has got a medium longevity. Okay. So then now I have simply studied here Jupiter. What I need to do is I need to study Moon. I need to study Saturn also. If you look at Moon, Moon also has got a PS, and Moon is present in the star of Jupiter. And Jupiter we have already discussed. Jupiter is giving us which houses? 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Right? And then by virtue of Moon, which has got a positional status, houses 1, 4, and 6 are also added to it. So, in all, the total number of houses which are shown by Jupiter is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Here, 2, 7, they are Marka houses. 5, 11, they are the houses. 1, 5, and 11, they are the houses for recovery of any kind of disease when this person will suffer. 6 and 8 refers to that whenever he is going to have a disease, it will be a contagious kind of disease. So then here also you have got Marka houses as well as you have got life saving houses. So what we can conclude here, that even Moon is also telling us about the medium to slightly higher than longevity for this person. Means that this person can survive from something from 40 years up to 70 years. Okay. And then the third planet in question, which is the ascendant co-ruler, that is Saturn. Saturn also has got PS. And through PS, Saturn is connected to 1, 3, 5, 9, 11, and 12. 1, 3, 5, 11, 9, 11, and 12. And Saturn is present in its own star. Thereby, it is connected to 1, 3, 5, 9, 11, and 12. Now, since here Saturn is present in its own star, therefore, in this case, we have to extend our discussion to the sublord also. So, we will discuss here the linking cusp for the Saturn along with the cusp in which its sublord appear, and the sublord in this case is also Jupiter. And Jupiter is again giving the same number of houses, which mean here also, in the case of Saturn also, we are having mixed houses. The Marka, Badka houses are present, along with the life-saving houses are present. And if you look into the linking cusp for Jupiter, linking cusp for Saturn, or linking cusp for Moon, what you find is in every case there is appearance of house number 7. 7 is here. Jupiter 7 is there. In Saturn, through Jupiter again 7 is there. So 7 refers to kidney of a person, and the person in question has already pointed out that is suffering from kidney disease, by virtue of which he wanted to know about his longevity, that how long this man can survive. So all the three co-rulers of the ascendant are pointing in the same direction, that the person of this chart in question has got a medium longevity, and that maybe means that his age may vary from something around 40 years to around say 70 years. That is the time span for his life. Okay, is it clear, please? Now
Yes, sir.
what we have been doing so far is we have been only focusing upon ascendant subsublord. But when the question regarding the longevity, question regarding the health issues are asked, then we have to read all the co-rulers of the ascendant, and we have to read up to what? The planet and the star in which the planet is placed. Nothing beyond it. Because we are not checking here the promise. What we are doing here is we are reading that what are the cusps linked to the planet through PS and through its star. So that will give us an idea about the longevity of this person. Any questions, please? If you have any doubt, any question up to this point. So now I have to talk about what? The longevity, and I pointed out what? That the longevity has to be checked through the ascendant subsublord. through the third cusp sub-sublord, and through the eighth cusp sub-sublord. The ascendant sub-sublord is Jupiter, we have already discussed, gives a medium longevity to this person. The third cusp sub-sublord is Saturn, we have already discussed. It is also giving a medium longevity to the person. The eighth cusp sub-sublord is Sun, and let us see that what Sun has got in store for this person. Now, if you look at Sun, Sun is in the star of Rahu. You can well understand that all the houses they are involved here, and both type of houses, the Marka Vadka houses as well as the life surviving houses are present. This also shows that the longevity of this person whose chart is under question has got a medium longevity. Is it clear, please? So we have studied here the ascendant, the third cusp sub-sublord, the eighth cusp sub-sublord. Okay, this. Now, after having checked the longevity, which is a mediocre longevity, medium longevity, we have probably assessed about the tentative age. Now, assessing longevity would not definitely mean that a person will die within this period of time. It can be 3, 4 years more, it can be 3, 4 years less. It could happen on either side. So, after having discussed the longevity, now here also, if you have, I have already pointed out that if you look into the seventh cusp sub-sublord, it is again Jupiter, and the person is suffering from the disease of kidney. And kidney is represented by which cusp? The seventh cusp. And the seventh sub-sublord is Jupiter. What do you infer from this? Jupiter we have already studied. What do you infer from this? That by virtue of disease, this disease is going to prove very fatal for this person, and maybe the person dies because of this disease. Now, after having looked into the ascendant sub-sublord, the third sub-sublord, the eighth sub-sublord, we will also check the 11th sub-sublord. If you look at the 11th sub-sublord, it is Saturn, and Saturn we have already discussed. Look here, the wonderful part in the chart. All the planets which are appearing as the sub-sublords, they are clearly, very clearly indicating a short longevity. 11th cusp sub-sublord is Saturn, we have discussed. 8th cusp sub-sub, 7th cusp sub-sublord is Jupiter, we have already discussed. 8th cusp sub-sublord is Sun, we have discussed. Right? And Sun here, the 8th cusp sub-sublord is linked to the 7th cusp also, which is also indicating of some kind of problem in the 7th cusp, that is in the kidney part. And then the ascendant sub-sublord is Jupiter, third sub-sublord is Saturn, seventh is Jupiter, eighth is Sun, and again the 11th is Saturn. All these we have studied, and the cusp linked to these planets we have studied. And all of these, they are indicating a medium longevity to this person. Now, after having known that the longevity of this person is minimum, after having known that the person is definitely suffering from acute kidney problem, as it indicated by the seventh cusp sub-lord, now we will focus upon the dasha period lords and find out that how long this person can survive and which particular dasha is going to prove fatal for this person. So, the first dasha, because the query was asked on 26th of June 2006, the first dasha is of Jupiter, and Jupiter will run up to 31st of March 2021. And Jupiter, we have already studied that Jupiter planet is in the star of Rahu, in the sub of Ketu, and it is in the sub of Mercury. And if you look here, Jupiter planet, through its signification, it is giving all death inflicting houses. Now, for a Dasha Lord to be fatal, we have to follow three rules. The first rule is that the Dasha Lord has to be a co-ruler of the ascendant or of the eighth cusp or of the Badka house. And here the Dasha Lord, Jupiter, is a co-ruler of the ascendant. It is present in the eighth house with a PS. It is not present in the Badka house. So it satisfies the first condition of being a co-ruler of 1 and 8. So either one was required. It's a co-ruler of both 1 and 8. Then the second rule for the Dasharol is that it should be linked to the 8th sub-sublord. The 8th sub-sublord is Sun, and at the same time, Jupiter with PS is also sitting in the 8th house, posted in the 8th house. So the virtual sub-sublord of 8th house is Jupiter. Jupiter is the Dasha, so it also satisfies the second rule. Then the third rule is that it should give the significations of death inflicting houses, which we have already discussed, which we have already studied. Thereby, Jupiter Dasha is going to be fatal for this person, and this person may not survive beyond the Jupiter Dasha, which will run up to 2021. Which will run up to 2021. Okay. So when this person asked the query in 2006, his age was 33 years. So 33 years and you add 21 means a maximum age of 54 years for this person is possible. Maybe 2, 3 years more, or maybe less than this period. 2, 3, 4 years less than this time. So Jupiter Dasha is fatal. Jupiter is giving all significations of death inflicting houses. Thereby, the person will not survive beyond 31st of March 2021. The first conclusion we have from the Dasha law. Now, the next question is which bhukti is going to prove fatal for this person? Now, I give you a rule how you have to identify that which has to be the bhukti. Now, this rule is applicable to all the events, whether it is a Horary chart or it is a natal chart. I think I'm sure that you don't know this rule, or we have not discussed this rule with you. Simply we have been talking about the bhukti lords, that and one of the conditions for bhukti lord is that it has to be a co-ruler of the eighth house and so on and so forth. Anyhow, what are the rules that out of these nine bhuktis, how we can select the bhukti lord which will effectively inflict death to this person? So for this purpose, if you want, you can write down the rules so that you can remember it forever, that how you need to calculate. The first rule is, now should I dictate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll write down,
Yes,
sir.
So
We'll
sir.
write down.
if you write down, they will be beneficial to you, because it will become easy for you to always identify which is the bhukti. Now, in the death cases, how do we identify the bhukti lord? Out of the nine bhuktis which we have, starting from Jupiter up to Rahu. So rule number one is, what we will do is, the first rule is that we will select all the planets. There are nine planets over here, and the nine planets are Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. Among these nine planets, we have to select the planets. Which planets? All such planets are to be selected which are present in the star. Star of what? Which are present in the star of planets which are co-ruler of the eighth cusp or co-rulers of the Badka. I repeat again. Rule number one is, for the selection of effect for the selection of Bhukti Lord is that we need to select from amongst the nine planets all those planets which are present in the star of planets which are co-rulers of the eighth cusp, the primary cusp of death, or co-ruler of the Badka house cusp. And the Badka cusp co-rulers are, they are Mars, Saturn, Ketu, Mars, and the eighth cusp co-rulers are Venus, Rahu, and Sun. So we will focus here and we will write down all these planets. So the first planet is Rahu, Sun. Sun is present in the star of Rahu, and Rahu is eighth co-ruler. Okay, Sun is selected. The second planet is Moon. Moon is present in the star of Jupiter, right? Moon is present in the star of Jupiter. And if you look here, then Jupiter is eighth cusp co-ruler. You get the point? Why eighth cusp co-ruler? Because it has a PS. It's a virtual sub-sublord. It means Moon is present in the star of a planet which is eighth co-ruler. So Moon is also selected. Next is Mars. Mercury appears nowhere, neither in eighth nor in ninth. So we will reject Mars. Next is Mercury. Mercury appears in the star of Saturn. Saturn is not appearing in 8, but Saturn is appearing in 9. So we will select Mercury. So the first planet is Sun, second is Moon, third is Mercury, fourth is Jupiter, because Jupiter is present in Rahu star and Rahu is the eighth co-ruler. Then Venus will also be selected because Venus is present in Sun star and Sun is eighth cusp co-ruler. Then the next planet is Saturn. Saturn in Saturn we will select it. Rahu in Saturn we will select it. Ketu in Sun we will select it. So now we have a list of planets, all the list of planets which are present in the star of planets which are co-rulers of the eighth cusp or co-rulers of the Badka cusp. So the planets which have appeared, they are Sun, Moon, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. Okay, so these are the planets. Now, this is step number 1. After having selected these planets, now the step number 2 is what? The step number 2 is that we will have to look into the sublords of these planets which have appeared. So the planets which appeared were Sun, Moon, Sun, Moon, Mars is not there, Mercury,
Except Mars, all
and
planets are there.
okay. So after this, now we will look into the sub of these planets. Sun is present in the sub of Saturn, Moon is present in Jupiter, and so on and so forth for all the planets which we have selected over here. Now, what is the important condition for a planet to be an effective sublord to bring about the event of death? Here, it is very important. And what is the important condition is? The important condition is that any planet can be a sublord that can inflict death if, you can write it down, any planet that can be a sublord if that planet gives the is present as or it gives the significations of marka, that is very important. And so that planet has to be present in the marka houses. And what are the marka houses? 2, 7, and 12. It has to be present in the marka house. So one of these three houses, 2, 7, and 12, has to be there. Plus it has to be in Badka house or eighth house. And so there are two parts of this. The sublord has to follow two simple rules. The first point is that the sublord has to be present in the marka houses, which are 2, 7, 12. So it can be 2 or 7 or 12. Any of these houses, or it can all these houses, or it can be any one of these houses. It can be all the three houses, or it can be any two of the houses. So minimum condition is that either 2 or 7 or 12 has to be there. This has to be there. Only then that planet will act as a sublord to inflict the death. Is only for the case of death. And second part of this same rule is that it has to be present either in the Badka house or in the eighth house. So that is second part. When these two rules they are fulfilled, then that particular sublord is an effective sublord that can inflict the death. Is this clear?
So we are talking about it should be present. That means it should occupy the house or should appear in the cuspal interlink table.
It should appear in that house.
Should
It has
be
to appear in the
occupied.
houses. Yes.
Okay.
These are the linking cusp. What I'm talking about is the linking cusp. That the planet Saturn can act as a sublord to inflict death. What is the condition? That Saturn has to be either present in 2 or 7 or 12. The first condition. If it is present in 2 or 7 or 12, then we will proceed to the next condition that it has to be either in the Badka house, that is the ninth house, or it has to be in the eighth house. So, eighth or ninth. So, what are the conditions? 2 or 7 or 12 plus 8 or 9. So, whenever these two conditions are fulfilled, then that particular planet can be a sublord which can inflict death. Is it clear? Anji, is it clear? Should I proceed ahead? I will tell you one by one. Look at Sun. Sun is present in the sub of Saturn.
सर
Sun.
सेकंड जो रूल है एक बार रिपीट करिए साहब.
देखो देखो, पहला रूल जो मैंने बोला है
सर.
वो ये बोला है
यस.
कि I'll speak both in हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश. पहला रूल
ओके
मैंने ये बोला है कि ये जो हमारे पास 9 प्लैनेट्स हैं,
सर.
हमने इन 9 प्लैनेट्स की सूची में से, लिस्ट में से
सर.
प्लैनेट सिलेक्ट करने हैं. कौन से?
सर.
वो प्लैनेट सिलेक्ट करने हैं जो ऐसे स्टार में प्रेजेंट हैं जो या तो 8 का कोरूलर है या 9 का कोरूलर है. 8 जो है प्राइमरी हाउस ऑफ डेथ. ओके, डेथ गिविंग हाउस.
सर.
और 9th हाउस जो है प्रेजेंट केस में 11th साइन है, इसका फिक्स साइन है, इसीलिए 9th हाउस इज दी बात का हाउस.
ओके सर.
तो दोनों में से कोई एक होना चाहिए. तो जब हमने ये सिलेक्ट किया तो यहाँ पे मार्स को छोड़ के बाकी सारे प्लैनेट्स जो हैं वो भुक्ति लॉर्ड बनने, भुक्ति लॉर्ड बन सकते हैं. ओके,
बन सकते.
अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि इसी अकेले पॉइंट से भुक्ति लॉर्ड नहीं बनेंगे.
सर. सर.
इसके बाद हमने क्या करना है? वी हैव टू लुक फॉर दी सबलॉर्ड.
ओके सर.
सबलॉर्ड जो है, जो डेथ दे सकता है,
सर.
उसके लिए 2 कंडीशंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
सर.
पहली कंडीशन है कि उसको या तो दूसरे हाउस में या 7वें हाउस में या 12वें हाउस में, क्योंकि ये मार्का हाउसेज हैं, इनमें से किसी एक हाउस में प्रेजेंट होना उसका अनिवार्य है, असेंशियल है.
सर.
अगर सपोज करो वो अपीयर ही नहीं हो रहा,
सर,
तो हम उस प्लैनेट को छोड़ देंगे. दैट कैन नॉट इन्फ्लिक्ट डेथ.
सर.
ओके, अब अगर वो पहली कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई कर देता है
सर,
तो फिर हमने दूसरी कंडीशन पे जाना है.
सर.
और दूसरी कंडीशन क्या है कि उसे या तो बाद का हाउस में होना चाहिए,
सर.
यानी नाइन्थ का उसके साथ लिंक्ड होना चाहिए,
यस. यस.
या उसके साथ 8वां कस्प लिंक होना चाहिए. अब जब
Yes,
ये
yes.
दोनों कंडीशंस फुलफिल करेगा तो वो क्या
Sir.
करेगा, वो
Death,
सबलॉर्ड बन
death
सकता
inflict.
है, वो
Okay,
डेथ
okay, sir.
इन्फ्लिक्ट करेगा। ओके,
Okay, okay,
अब
okay, sir.
देखो इसी केस में देखो आप, अब हमारे पास सन है, सन जो है किसके सब में है, सैटर्न के सब में है। ओके,
Yes, sir.
सैटर्न देखो 2 में है, नहीं है।
Sir.
सैटर्न देखो 7 में है,
Not there, sir.
ठीक है, इट इज नॉट देयर। सैटर्न
Yes,
देखो 12 में है,
yes, yes.
12 में है,
ये 12 में है,
अब
sir.
12 में है। अब हम
Yes.
यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा और
It's
मॉडिफाई करेंगे।
weak condition.
हाँ, साइन
Sign
लॉर्ड
lot.
पे है,
It is sign
साइन लॉर्ड
lot.
पे,
Very,
हाँ,
very
Yes,
ठीक
yes.
है। सो
Yes, yes, sir.
इट कैन नॉट इन्फ्लिक्ट द डेथ।
Hmm.
ओके,
Oh, yes, yes, sir.
अब दूसरा देखो तो सैटर्न जो है 8th में नहीं था, 9th में था, बादका में था।
Yes, yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो हम
Yes, yes.
यहाँ पे सेकंड हाउस, 7th हाउस, एंड देन वी हैव, बिकॉज दीज आर द मार्का हाउसेस 2 and 7। ओके,
Yes.
एंड
Yes,
देन
yes, sir.
वी हैव टू टॉक अबाउट द 8th हाउस एंड द बादका हाउस। तो सैटर्न
Yes.
यहाँ पे सेटिस्फाई नहीं करता कंडीशंस, क्योंकि कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई नहीं करता तो सन जो है वो डेथ इन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं कर सकता। तो सन का
Yes, sir.
मतलब क्या, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, सन को हम भुक्ति लॉर्ड, we will not
Sir.
consider sun to be a bhukti lord.
Bhakti
Okay,
Lord. Yes, 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 sir.
right.
Clear.
Take the
Yes.
next planet, moon. Moon is in the sub of Jupiter.
Yes, sir.
And now here the point is, I may bunch these two, I may not bunch.
Sir.
It is not necessary to bunch them. I may bunch them, I may not bunch them. It is all up
Okay,
to
okay.
me, depending upon the
Okay.
conditions. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
Jupiter sub. अब जुपिटर सब को देखोगे तो जुपिटर इज प्रेजेंट इन 2,
Yes, sir.
पहली कंडीशन फुलफिल होगी, जुपिटर इज प्रेजेंट इन 7,
Yes, sir.
कंडीशन फुलफिल होगी पहली।
Yes, 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 sir.
अब फर्स्ट कंडीशन फुलफिल होगी तो सेकंड कंडीशन क्या है, इट हैज टू बी इन दी 8th कस्प और इट हैज टू बी इन दी बाद का। अब
Yes.
बाद का तो बना नहीं है, लेकिन 8
Yes,
में
yes.
बैठा हुआ है,
Yes, sir.
दोनों कंडीशंस फुलफिल होगी।
Yes.
इट मींस मून कैन इफेक्टिवली एक्ट एज ए भुक्ति लॉर्ड।
Sir.
ओके,
Okay.
कब भुक्ति लॉर्ड बनेगा मून, अगर उसका सब लॉर्ड जो है असेंशियल कंडीशन को सेटिस्फाई करेगा।
Sir.
और एसेंशियल कंडीशन क्या है कि वीनस को इट हैज टू अपीयर इन 2 और 7 और 12 और 8 और 9। और
That
वीनस
means
अगर
any,
आप देखो,
that means
वीनस
any
देखोगे,
any death in field causes.
हाँ, तो एसेंशियल कंडीशन क्या होती है,
Any,
इधर इन मार्का हाउसेज और इन बादका हाउस और
any,
इन 8।
anyone
फाइनल
death in field causes.
फाइनल कंफर्मेशन है ना, एनी वन ही तो चाहिए
वही
ना,
है, हाँ वही है,
डेथ डेथ का रूल है ना फाइनल कंफर्मेशन
हाँ
का।
वही है, हाँ
ठीक है,
इसलिए
सो
हाँ,
इट हैज टू बी इन सेकंड हाउस और इन द 7th हाउस और इन द 12th हाउस और इन द 8th हाउस और इन द 9th हाउस। और
yes.
वीनस देखो यहाँ पे 8th हाउस में प्रेजेंट है, इसका मतलब मून ने सारी नेसेसरी और एसेंशियल कंडीशंस फुलफिल कर दी टू बिकम ए भुक्ति लॉर्ड। तो हमने
Yes,
पहला
sir.
प्लेनेट जो आइडेंटिफाई किया वो है मून।
Moon is the right planet.
नहीं, नॉट राइट प्लेनेट, भी अभी
No,
बाकी
no,
भी तो पढ़े हैं ना सारे,
all conditions.
बाकी प्लेनेट भी तो पढ़े हैं ना। वी विल हैव टू डिस्कस ऑल द प्लैनेट्स टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट इज द टोटल नंबर ऑफ प्लैनेट्स वी कैन हैव टू एक्ट एज भुक्ति लॉर्ड। ओके,
Okay.
now
Okay,
after
sir.
moon, Mars is not there, so we will not take this planet. Next planet is Mercury. Now Mercury is present in the star of Saturn, it is present in the sub of Saturn, okay, and it is present in the sub of Mars. अब देखो, अगर when it is present in the sub of Saturn or it is present in the sub of Mars, okay, if I bunch them, then Mercury is present in the sub of Mars. Mars appears in 2.
Sir.
Mars is not there in 7. Okay. Mars is not
Sir.
there in 8. Mars is appearing in 9th. Right?
Sir.
Okay. So here
Yes,
what you
sir.
find is that Mars is, I'm sorry, Mercury. Mercury is appearing, Mercury through Saturn. I think I by mistake I took something else. I repeat again. Now Mercury,
No,
we are so it is present in
sir.
2, it is present in 9. So it fulfills the condition. It
Sir.
fulfills the condition, so Mercury can be taken. Okay. So the next
Okay.
planet that we can take is Mercury, right? And then after that, the next planet is Jupiter. Jupiter is in the sub of K2, right? Jupiter is in
Sir.
the sub of K2. K2 is
Oh,
there in the
yes.
second house. K2 is
Yes.
there in the second house.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
And then K2 is not in seventh house.
Sir.
K2 is not in eighth house. K2 is
Sir.
there in ninth house.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you
Sir.
find here is that Jupiter also through K2 satisfies the necessary condition.
Sir.
Right? Now,
Yes,
whether
sir.
Jupiter can be taken as to be acting as Bhukti Lord or not, we will have to read the Mercury sub Lord. When you read Mercury sub Lord, it is neither in 2, nor in 7, nor in 8, nor in 9, nor in 12.
Sir.
It means Jupiter is present in the sub of a planet which is neither in 2, nor in 7, nor in 8, nor in 9, nor in 12. Thereby, Jupiter cannot be taken a planet which will act as the Bhukti Lord. Okay. So Jupiter is gone, Mars is gone, right? Sun is gone. We have Moon is there, Mercury is there. Okay. Then the next planet is Venus. Venus is in the sub of Venus, and Venus is neither in 2, nor in 7, nor in 12. It is simply present in 8. So it is not satisfying the first condition. What is the first condition? It has to be present in 2 or 7 or
2, 2, 7, 12.
2, 7, 12. So it is not
Yes,
present. Since it is not
sir.
planet, not present, we will not consider Venus. Because Venus is simply present in 8th. It has to satisfy both the conditions to be present
Yes,
in the
sir.
Marka houses. It is not present in the Marka houses, therefore we will reject Venus. Okay. The
Sir.
next planet is Saturn. Saturn is present in the sub of Jupiter, and Jupiter we have already discussed is okay. Moon is also present in the sub of Jupiter, it was okay, and Saturn is also present in the sub of Jupiter, which is okay. And then finally, Saturn is in the sub of Ketu, which is also okay because Ketu is there in 2. Okay. Ketu is there
Sir.
in 8. Ketu is there in 9. So it is okay. Right?
Sir.
So Saturn is okay. Now take the case of Rahu. Rahu is there in Saturn, and Jupiter. Okay. Rahu
Sir.
is there in Saturn, and Jupiter. When you look
Sir.
at Saturn, then
Sir.
Saturn is not in 2, not in 7.
Sir.
Saturn, if you look at Saturn, it is not in 2, it is
Yes,
not
sir.
in 7.
I will
Okay.
Yes, sir.
verify.
It is
Verify.
present at the sign lord level in 12th house.
Yes.
Very weak, right? Which
Yes, sir.
means that Rahu will also, or Rahu can also not act as a Bhukti Lord by virtue of Saturn not satisfying the first condition. Okay. Take
Yes,
the
sir.
case of Ketu. Ketu is in the sub of Mercury.
Sir.
And Mercury, neither in 2, nor in 7, nor in 12. We have already discussed. We have already discussed neither in 2 nor in 7. Look here. It is not
Sir.
present in 2, it is not present in 7, it is not present in 12. First condition, it doesn't
Sir.
satisfy, thereby it will not be taken. So then how many planets we have with us? One is Moon, the other is Saturn,
Three.
and the third one is we have,
Mercury.
yeah,
Mercury.
we have
Ketu.
no, Mercury, okay. Mercury by virtue of Mars was taken to be okay, right? So then the third one is Mercury. Okay. So it means out of the list of 9 planets, only 3 planets can act as Bhukti Lord. Before discussing ahead of this, Mercury can be rejected here. Why I am rejecting Mercury here? Because Mercury is neither a co-ruler of 2, nor a co-ruler of 7, nor a co-ruler of 1, nor a co-ruler of 8, nor a co-ruler of 9, nor a co-ruler of 12. See, for a Bhukti Lord to inflict death, it has to be very strong planet, and as Mercury is not a co-ruler of any of the death inflicting houses, it no doubt it is giving the significations to Saturn, Mars, and Mars. But since Mercury itself is not a co-ruler of any of the death inflicting houses, it cannot act as a Bhukti Lord. Now
Yes.
I repeat again what I said till now. हमें जब भुक्ति लॉर्ड सिलेक्ट करना होता है 9 प्लैनेट्स में, तो पहला रूल है कि हम 9 के 9 प्लैनेट्स देखेंगे किस स्टार में है, क्या वो स्टार 8वें कस्प का कोरूलर है या बाद का कस्प का कोरूलर है। यदि वो 8वें और बाद का कस्प का कोरूलर होगा तो उस प्लैनेट को हम भुक्ति लॉर्ड बनाने के लिए सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे through the sublord, and for the planet to be an effective sublord, to become a Bhukti Lord, to inflict death, there are two rules. The first rule is it has to be present in the Marka houses, and the Marka houses are 2, 7, and 12. Any one of these houses, or any two of the houses, or all these houses. If this condition is satisfied, then the second condition is that it has to be a co-ruler of the 8th cusp, or it has to be a co-ruler of the Badka cusp. अब ये दो कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो जाएंगी तो ऑलमोस्ट 75% क्लियरेंस हो गया. Then the last point is the essential rule, and the essential rule is that the sub-sublord of all these planets should be either a co-ruler of 2 or 7 or 12 or 8 or Badka house. Any one of these. And if it satisfies this condition, then that planet can act as a Bhukti Lord. Follow the same rules. Your questions, please. किसी ने कुछ पूछना है तो पूछो, नहीं तो आगे प्रोसीड करते हैं. Okay. Now I will move to the transit chart, because the first planet that appears after Jupiter is Saturn. Then it is Mercury, we have already rejected. So I am left with two planets which can act as Bhukti Lord. One is Saturn and the other one is Moon. I can directly jump from Saturn to Moon. Now, suppose if Saturn is to act as a Bhukti Lord, because this was one of the planets which could act as a Bhukti Lord. So I will go to the transit, and the transit period is Saturn starts from 20th of May 2007, 2 o'clock. So it is 20th May 2007, and the timing was 2 o'clock now. 205000. Okay, so the Bhukti of Saturn has started, right? Now when the Saturn Bhukti starts, then we have now, before we proceed ahead, we have to look for the transit of Saturn. When you look for the transit of Saturn, Saturn is transiting in the sign of Cancer, whose lord is Moon. And Moon we have already discussed. is a strong planet that can inflict death. Okay? Is it okay? अभी किया हमने डिस्कस ना.
Yes, sir.
जब हमने ये कहा कि सैटर्न और मून दो प्लैनेट्स हैं जो भुक्ति लॉर्ड बन सकते हैं, तो वो डेथ इन्फ्लिक्टिंग हाउसेस दे रहे हैं, तभी तो बन सकते हैं ना. They are becoming bhukti lords only when they can inflict death. So one is Saturn and the other one is Moon. So Saturn here is present in the sign of Moon. And Moon is a planet which is strong enough to give the, because it is giving significations of all death giving houses. Okay. Then only by looking here that it is present in the sign of Moon, and Moon should have a relationship with the eighth sub-sublord, and the eighth sub-sublord is one is Sun and the other one is Jupiter. Look here, Jupiter is here in the eighth house with a PS, and the other one is Sun. Am I right? So Moon should be connected to Sun or should be connected to Jupiter, and Moon here is connected to Jupiter. Is it okay? So the transit of Saturn in the sign of Moon satisfies the condition for the transit, which is okay. So transit of Saturn in the sign of Moon is okay. But the problem is not over at this point. Whenever we are discussing the Horary chart or the natal chart, we have also to look into the star in which the Saturn is transiting. And Saturn here is transiting in which sign?
Cancer.
Mercury.
Mercury star.
No, no, I'm sorry. Mercury star. By mistake, I said sign. It is moon sign. It is Cancer sign, whose lord is moon. The transit of Saturn in moon is okay. Cancer sign is okay. And at the same time, it is transiting in Mercury star. And what about Mercury? We have already discussed. Neither in 2, nor in 7, nor in 1, nor in 8, nor in 9, nor in 12. So is the transit of Saturn in Mercury okay?
No, sir.
Absolutely
No, sir.
not.
No, sir.
Absolutely not. What does it mean? That as long as Saturn transits in Mercury sign, the event is not likely to happen. Death will not happen. This Bhukti Lord cannot become an effective Bhukti Lord to cause the event of death. Now, Mercury here, will be over when Saturn jumps into the next sign, because Saturn here is in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer has got three stars. The first one is Jupiter, second is Saturn, and the third is Mercury, and it is already in the Mercury star. So it will run up to 30 degrees. Mercury is going to be present till 30 degrees over. Only when it jumps to the next sign, then only something can happen. Okay, is it clear? So what I will do here is that the transit of Saturn in the sign of moon is okay, but the transit of Saturn in the star of Mercury is not okay. The time 1 month each. I will do it till Saturn goes to the next sign. Here it is. On 20th of July 2007, Saturn will go into the sign of Leo. Lord of Leo is Sun. Okay. Lord of Leo is Sun. Now the question is the transit of Saturn in the sign of Sun okay? The first point, Sun is the eighth cusp sub-lord. Saturn is transiting in the sign of Sun. Sun is linked to the eighth cusp sub-lord, so it satisfies the condition. Now we have to check for the significations of Sun. And when you look into the significations of Sun, Sun is present in the star of Rahu, in the sub of Saturn, and in the sub of Mercury. What do you infer? Now, what you can infer from here?
No, it's not strong enough, no?
नहीं नहीं होगा ही नहीं ना. Mercury is neither
Uh,
in 2 nor in 7. It is not satisfying the essential condition.
yeah, and earlier also we didn't consider sun in
Yes.
Bhakti.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sun is present in the subsub of Mercury, which is neither in 2 nor in 7 nor in 8 nor in 9 nor in 12. So it is not satisfying the essential conditions. Thereby, the transit of Saturn in the sign of Leo is also not favorable. Now, coming back to rules which I have already discussed in so many classes. Now, here, when you look at Saturn, Saturn from its own sign is making which relation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which relation? 6, 8 relation.
Relation.
Do you remember it? Many times I have repeated it. That whenever Saturn will transit in a sign 12th to its own sign, it is not favorable. Do you remember?
Sir.
बहुत बारी बोला मैंने ये तो. जब भी कोई प्लेनेट अपने साइन से 12th साइन पे जाएगा तो वो फेवरेबल नहीं होगा. अपने साइन से 8th साइन में जाएगा तब भी फेवरेबल नहीं होगा. और अपने साइन से 6 8 का रिलेशन बनाएगा तब भी वो ट्रांजिट फेवरेबल नहीं होगा. डू यू रिमेम्बर दिस पॉइंट और नॉट?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
I think time. See, my work is that I keep on analyzing the charts, and at the same time, I keep on thinking about that what kind of changes are there and how we can predict it. How we can predict the events. For that case, certain rules I have framed, and here I have pointed out times without number. I have pointed out that whenever any planet is 12th to its sign, 8th to its sign, and maintaining a relation of 6 8, it is not a favorable transit.
No, it is not favorable, sir.
Why it is not favorable? Because it will be having 6 8 relationship with its own sign.
Yes, yes, yes.
It means that I will have directly jump Saturn from fifth sign to which sign?
Libra.
Libra sign. Okay. So it will stay for how many years here? 2.5 years here, 2.5 years here. 5 years. Then it will jump out to this sign. Na? Saturn stays in a sign for how many years? 2.5 years.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right? 1 month each for, say, let me say 6 7 months. I take it 6 7 months back. Right? So in 2012, on 20th of August 2012, Saturn will go to which sign? Libra sign. Okay. And by the time Saturn goes to Libra sign, now before looking into whether this sign is favorable or this sign is not favorable, what is the bhukti I am getting here?
Ketu.
Ketu. Was Ketu the planet which
No.
can act as a bhukti?
No.
No. Then which planet we will go directly to?
Moon.
Moon. And Moon starts from which date?
Uh, 31st July 2016.
31st July 2016. So I will put here 31st of July 2016. And what are the timings? It is 9 hours 15 minutes. So I will make it as 9 hours 20 minutes. Okay. Now, what do I infer from here? That the death of this person can happen in a period starting from 31st of July 2016 up to 30th of November 2017. It is this one period, 1 year period, approximately 1 year period, which is going to be very fatal to this person, where maybe that is the disease develops into a chronic disease or something else could happen, maybe kidney removal takes place. Okay, is it okay, please? So what are the two planets which can act as the Antara Lord? One is Moon and the other one is Saturn. Okay, it means moon can be repeated as the Antara Lord. So if moon is to repeat it as the Antara Lord, then this Antara will end on 9th of September 2016, which means that 31st of July 2016 to 9th of September 2016 is the period which is going to be very fatal for this person. And now, if you look here, then Saturn will transit into which sign?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Lord of Scorpio is
Mars.
Mars. Mars, if you look here, is the Badka sub lord. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Saturn is transiting in a sign which is Badka sub lord. It is
Okay.
linked to the Badka sub lord. So the sign in which Saturn transits is either it should be linked to the 8th sub lord or it should be linked to the Badka sub lord. And Badka sub lord itself is the planet in which the Saturn that is transiting. So it is okay. And then it is transiting in the star of Saturn, which also appears to be okay. Now the next question is to select the Sukshma Lord. See here. See any event. Now please note it down. Any event is to be given by Dasha, Bhukti, and Antara. These are three planets which decide when an event is likely to happen. As far as Sukshma and Prana are concerned, the Sukshma and Prana never give an event. The Sukshma and Prana simply tell us that how the event is likely to happen. Try to understand this point. जो हमारे पास दशा भुक्ति अंतरा है ना, ये तीनों के तीनों, ये तीन दशाएं ऐसी हैं जो हमें किसी भी इवेंट के होने में बताती हैं, कब होगा, किस तरह से होगा, कब होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए. तो ये दशा, भुक्ति और अंतरा, ये तीन प्लैनेट ऐसे हैं जो हमें किसी भी इवेंट के होने के बारे में बताते हैं. जो सूक्ष्म प्राणा है वो इवेंट नहीं देते. सूक्ष्म प्राणा हमें ये बताते हैं कि वो जो इवेंट घटा है वो किस तरह से घटा है, किस वजह से हुआ है. So the dasha, bhukti and antara tell us about the event. These are only three dashas which tell us about the event. The sukshma and prana tell about the cause how event has happened. They simply tell us about the cause how the event has happened. अब किसी भी सूक्ष्म प्राणा का cause कब पता चलेगा? When we have to look into the 8th sub-lord. You have to look into the 8th sub-lord. इसीलिए जब भी हम सूक्ष्म की बात करते हैं, then the सूक्ष्म planet has always to be a co-ruler of the 8th cusp, that is the primary cusp. जब primary cusp का co-ruler होगा, then we can have an idea. Idea about what? We can have an idea about what? How the event has happened, what was the cause of that event. Okay, now here in this case, what are the 8th cusp co-rulers? Venus, Rahu, Rahu, Venus, Rahu, Sun, and Jupiter. Am I right? Jupiter is here with a PS. So it is Venus, Sun, Rahu, and Jupiter. It means either Venus or Sun or Rahu or Jupiter. Either of these can act as a Sukshma Lord. Right? So Moon will not be Sukshma, Mars will not be Sukshma. So it can be Rahu, it can be Jupiter, or it can be Venus. So Rahu and Jupiter, either of these two, or it can be Venus. Now since Jupiter is appearing as a dasha, which is strongly linked to 1 and 8. On the contrary, when you look at Rahu, Rahu is linked to 8. It is not present in 1, not a co-ruler of 1. Jupiter is a co-ruler of 1, posited in the 8th house, linked to both 1 and 8, which means the Jupiter Sukshma is stronger than the Rahu Sukshma. Thereby, Jupiter will act as a Sukshma. When Jupiter acts as a Sukshma, it will not act as a Prana. So the Prana has to be different. And now here, again, which is the Prana Lord I have to take? The Prana Lord has to be again either Rahu. Jupiter I have already taken, so it can be either Rahu or Venus or Sun. So I will straight away proceed to Rahu, because Rahu is a node and it is also a karka of the death. Thereby we will directly proceed to the planet Rahu. It means that the death of this person has happened either on 16th or on 17th of August 2016.
Kapilji, why do you not take Jupiter as a prana lord?
जुपिटर प्राणा एक ही बारी लेते हैं ना, सूक्ष्म लॉर्ड सूक्ष्म प्राणा में it is very rarely that the same sukshma is repeated. The same sukshma is repeated only when that planet is present in all the houses of death inflicting houses. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 12. All death inflicting houses are there. Then we repeat it. Otherwise, we don't repeat it.
Okay.
Should happen either on 16th or on 17th of August. And you know, the death of this person happened on 16th of August, 16th of August at about say 20 hours or 21 hours. Right? So it was Jupiter, Moon, Jupiter, Ra,
You're going directly to the
Prana.
Ra.
So it is Jupiter, Moon, Jupiter, and Rahu. Now your questions, please. So Sukshma Lord Jupiter will tell the cause of death. And when you look into the significations of the Jupiter, then Jupiter is linked to the cusp 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Seventh cusp is the cusp of kidney problem. It is present in the Jupiter is present in the star of Rahu. It is present in the sub of Ketu. If you look here, Jupiter is present in the star of Rahu and it is present in the sub of Ketu. So, star of Rahu and sub of Ketu both are linked with the 8th house, the 7th house, 2nd house. So, the linking with the 7th house indicates that this person, the cause for the death of this person was the problem with the kidney, which failed, and ultimately this person died. There was a failure of the kidney and the person died.